body. Hashtag you should have known.
Well,
And
don't know
we're
his
back.
body.
We forgot to laugh, guys.
Yeah, you guys didn't make any fun. Make fun of it.
Oh,
Eli's
because I'm
gonna
beginning
die.
my slow descent into a panic attack. Okay.
Somebody's
Stay tuned, Eli. Stay tuned.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna start my breathing.
Breathing, drinking, whichever you prefer, my friend. So, when we last left our heroes, still reeling from the death of their friend Alcor, the party pulled up their socks and continued their quest as true heroes would. They faced a challenging riddle that warned of success or death, as they tried to push further into one of the mortal champion's tombs. Unfortunately, they were unable to push much further, with Lucy being blinded and Trix having her essence stole away from her. Collecting Thomas, the party headed back to Trelis, where you found the mood of the city had changed, with additional guards now posted out front of the gatehouse. After a short encounter, you returned Thomas to the Hawkins Institute, where you collected your ward from Sir Hawk and were able to find healing for your friends as well. You also encountered a strange man named Spade, who has apparently been sent by Lucy's parents to return him to Boku, seemingly not willing to let Lucy out of his sight.
Shade. That's Spade.
Shade.
Different
Yep.
guy.
That's what I meant. That's exactly what I meant. Late in the evening, you met with the headmistress Birdie, who was in a deep argument with a woman that you've never seen before. She was introduced as Lady Nico, but was quickly ushered out the door. Speaking to Birdie, you learned more about the Defiant Grain and its relation to the Hawkins Institute, the Golden City and its connection to the Mortal Champions, and the founder of the human civilization on Qatar itself, Octavo Presage. The following morning, a note was received on the doorstep of the Institute declaring that William Lionhead has been granted the temporary position of Lord Merchant in an effort to destroy the Defiant Grain, now labeled as a terrorist organization. Not long after, Lionhead's Inquisitors burst through the front door of the Institute with the authorization to search all within the establishment. While the searches commenced, you watched as guards escorted Birdie and her dwarf husband, Tancred, from the institution. As the guard reached Eli, the final member of the party to be searched, he discovered the medallion Alcor had previously been wearing that embedded the symbol of the Defiant Grain, and quickly took Eli into custody. Being allowed to leave, the party followed behind, with Pavo taking to the skies to survey where they might possibly be taking Eli. As this occurred, from the shadows, Lady Nico motioned towards the party, and then revealed herself to be a woman named Quinn, the leader of the Defiant Grain. And so, our story continues. Pavo. High in the sky, gliding over top the upper district of Trelis, with an eagle eye you watched the convoy which just moments ago took your friend Eli into captivity. Like ants on the landscape, they may move in perfect formation. In the front, 5 armored individuals, with another 3 heading the rear. They seem to encompass a covered trumble or a iron cart, to which you briefly saw Eli be put in the back of. Following for a short time, they make their way to the furthest corner of the upper district to a secluded cliffside, with 5 large and luxurious manors standing side by side. The convoy stops at the 3rd manor. What would you like to do?
Are they unloading or are they picking something up?
At this point, they have fully stopped. A few of the individuals have started to walk up towards the manor. A couple more of those who were in the very front of the convoy now coming around to the back. You watch as the driver steps off the cart, and beside him, the bald woman who had just been inside of the institution proper.
So at this point, I'm just going to keep an eye out until I see Eli and hover around. Keep circling around.
Hovering over above, you keep just enough out of sight so that if anyone was to see you, they would speculate possibly just a bird above. Eli, The short time you've traveled from the Hawkins Institute has been mostly in silence. 2 armored individuals sit in the small cell-like transport vehicle alongside Birdie, Tancred, and yourself. By this time, the spell cast on Tancred the dwarf has fully worn off. He let out a few bellows of protest, but one of the guards quickly drew a dagger to Tancred's exposed throat, to which seemed to quiet him. This small burst in liveliness shocks your senses for a brief moment. You regain your composure and feel a bit more capable than you had before. You, my friend, have been inspired.
Thank God.
After the short trip, you suddenly feel a jerking motion as the wagon comes to a complete stop. Looking down, you inspect the thick chains wrapped around your wrists. What would you like to do?
Okay. So I want to see if I can get that bag of holding into, like I specified last episode that I wanted to try to hide it on my person. I just don't know where I would have put it. So I'm guessing like some kind of pocket or something I have in my cloak. I feel like a rogue would have that type of thing.
Absolutely. As the resident rogue, you would most likely have a number of hidden pockets within your attire. Places for things like your thieves' tools, alternatively, goods that you have won throughout your time.
I'm gonna see if I can put the thieves' tools in one pocket. If I can kind of like shimmy and work them into the places that I want them. Thieves' tools in one pocket, the bag of holding with a dagger in another, and then I want gold, all that kind of stuff in a conspicuous location that they're going to find easily.
Now, keeping in mind, you do still have the 2 armored individuals sitting with you in the back of the cart.
I will do nothing.
Okay.
Huge difference then.
Forgot that.
After all that, nothing.
Just a quick reminder.
Yeah.
I will not do that. I'll sit tight. But I did say that I wanted to hide it last episode, so it's in one of those little. It's hidden away.
Absolutely. I had assumed that anything that you would have immediately thought of as something that you'd wish to protect or hide, that you would put in one of your hidden pockets.
Okay, I'm just sitting there waiting for someone to say something to me or do something.
All right. The 2 individuals stand for a brief moment as they open the back doors up. They begin to herd you off of the cart one by one. Stepping down back into the sunlight, it stings your eyes for but a brief moment, now having the brightness hit your cornea.
I would like to look around and gauge my surroundings, places where I can hide if I'm able to get out.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. Sorry, it's slow. Perception, that is gonna be 19.
Very good. As you step out, your eyes go blurry for but a brief moment due to the glare of the sun. But looking around once more, you now find yourself in the front courtyard of a beautiful manor. A large golden fountain sits directly in the center of the courtyard of 2 what look to be peace doves that seem to be sprouting water from each of their mouths. Looking around, you see a few places that you could potentially hide if you had the chance to. A few large bushes that kind of scatter throughout the courtyard.
I want to look specifically at windows and ledges beneath windows.
Okay. As they continue to push you forward up to the front entrance, you get a good look of the windows and the ledges and everything along those lines. But due to the size of this manor, easily 3 stories from what you can see, a number of large windows and ledges spread across the front. of the building.
Okay. As best I can, I want to see if I can, like, as they're leading me places, keep track of where I am in relation to, like, the exterior of the structure.
Absolutely. So kind of just trying to memorize the left and rights. Okay. As they take you out of the caravan and continue to push you forward, Pavo, what would you like to do, my friend?
How many are surrounding him?
At this point, there's 5 individuals surrounding the companions that had been taken from you. You can see from within the courtyard, there's at least another six large, heavily armored guards.
So I would obviously like to try to do that dive bomb. How I saved Eli before. Are they actually physically holding Eli, like grabbing onto him, or is he just kind of like surrounded?
Well, they don't seem to be holding on to his body directly. They do have him now held by the chains that are wrapped around his wrist.
So they have a hold of chains. Okay, that won't work then. I don't want to leave, but at the same time, I'd be outnumbered. It'd be pointless to try to dive down. So from here, since I know where they're at, I'm going to head back to the Hawkins Institute to join up and tell everybody what I found out.
Okay.
Do I see him?
I would say go ahead and make a perception check for me with disadvantage, because he is trying to stay out of the sight of most people.
That's an 18. I rolled 2 18s.
18. Looking back up to the skies once more before being led through the doorway, you do see a familiar winged individual scouring above.
Do I see him heading away? Or I just see him flying?
You see him circling like that of a hawk.
Okay. All right.
As all of this happens, you take a moment getting out of the confines of the wagon. Even after a short travel time, it seems to be a little restricted on your muscles and whatnot. I would like everyone to make an acrobatics check for me.
I was like, what's happening?
Already right off the bat. Let's get one going.
No checks. Game.
As well as I would, because we didn't do it at the beginning, I would like to raise a glass to all of my fellow cast members and wish you a happy cheers and a happy hydrate.
Cheers.
Happy anniversary, guys!
Ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Happy anniversary.
Pavo, as you fly back to the Hawkins Institute, landing on the front lawn, per se, of the Institute proper, a little bit of a shimmer is caught from your left eye. Looking over for a brief moment, you walk over and see a tiny little bottle with a very strange liquid inside. It swirls of reds and blacks. Almost through the bottle, you can smell the almost dust-like smell of it as it kind of captivates your senses for but a brief moment.
Have I ever seen something like this before?
This you have not.
I'll put it in my bag for now.
Sure you don't want to drink it? You sure?
I'll give it a swig.
I don't know. What's my instincts telling me?
You shouldn't drink and fly.
Raises a fair point.
Remember, kids, don't drink and fly.
Yeah.
Making your way to your acquaintances that you can now see in a bit of a back alley behind the Hawkins Institute. You see them standing with a woman, relatively armored with padded leather armor, a few daggers hanging from a belt strapped across her chest. You approach your friends.
I followed him to the manor up far north. I know where they're holding Eli.
Great.
Well,
Gotta move on it then.
we should definitely move quickly, seeing
Yeah.
as they seem to want to kill Eli.
Yeah,
By the
unfortunately,
way-
there was nothing I could do. There was just too many of them, so I didn't intervene. That's why I headed back here as fast as I could to get you guys to come along if we're going to do anything.
You should also know that our Nico, that used to be a bird like you, is now a human like
Hmm?
someone else.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
No, no.
a bird.
Ollie, go into your mind palace quickly,
No.
quickly.
No, she was dressed as a bird, like Birdie, and like she was
No.
like a
No.
different. Was she not?
She was like a
Nope.
blonde or
No.
something.
Not at all.
I think
She was
I
just
think
looked different and then changed her appearance.
he blew the Braco chip.
She went from being young to a little bit older.
Dang, like I had a different mind palace from last episode. Like even when they were having that argument and stuff, I'm like, birds should stick together.
It was more like a mind. You have what I would call a mind garage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into my mind
Storage
shack.
space.
Excuse me for one moment.
All right. Well, anyway, this person used to be Nico, and now it's Quinn. You remember Nico? It wasn't a bird.
She looks to you.
Okay.
Greetings, my feathered friend. I was just saying to your companions here that, while you most likely have quite a few questions, which I'm happy to oblige to answer, we are, as you said, on a bit of a time-sensitive situation. What say
You're
we
gonna
go
help
save
us.
our friends?
I can lead you
Okay.
straight there.
We do have a bit of a stop to make first, before we head to the manor proper. Would you be willing to follow me for a short time?
Is it on the way?
It better be important.
If we wish to enter the manor, knowing that it is most likely heavily guarded at this point in time, I would say that yes, it is imperative that we speak with a few individuals, first and foremost.
A few. They did say they wanted to kill Eli. Do you happen to know how long they keep hostages before,
I would assume they are looking for information at this point. They would not kill, which they need.
So
Oh,
worst
okay.
case scenario, Eli's just being tortured.
That's horrible, Lucy.
Well, then let's
I'm being
get a move
sarcastic,
on.
and I would like to move faster if we can.
So,
Okay.
let's walk and talk. Where are we heading?
Yeah.
Before exiting the back alley, Quinn flashes back into the Lady Nico persona. When I am in this form, it is imperative for you to refer to me as Lady Nico. Is that understood?
Understood.
Understood.
Okay.
She leads you out of the city center and into an area of the upper district that you had previously unexplored. As you walk through the streets, you begin to get a bit of an impression of all the new rulings that have been handed down by the new Lord Merchant. You see many instances of individuals being stopped on the side of the road. Another woman screams as presumably her husband is ripped from their home's front entrance, as a child cries in the background. A few minutes of travel and you find yourself on the western side of Upper Trelis, just opposite of the Divine District. The area holds many large guild halls, each with a symbol representing the guild. You stop in front of a large entrance to a particular hall. The building seems to have 2 floors. The first and foundation level is one of the first that you've encountered, with fine brown fire-bricked clay, or clay-fired bricks. Large windows lined with intricate and finely sculpted ironwork lattices embedded over top. The second floor exterior looks to be made of well-kept birch planks with large tree trunks sanded down and carved, acting as the structural supports. The steeply peaked roofs look to have been made of copper that is largely oxidized, now giving a familiar aquamarine blue tint. As you walk to the large set of double doors, you take note of a symbol affixed above the doorway. The light blue banner slightly sways from the wind, with the sigil of a golden hammer and anvil embroidered into the center. As you enter into the grand front foyer, you notice the bright, natural light to which the room bathes in. The iron lattice across the windows seem to not have any real effect against the sun's brilliance. Around the room, beautiful statues and busks, each made from a different glimmering metal or alloy, all polished to perfection. A few people walk about, some taking notice of you, but most of them indifferent to you being there and continuing on their way. Lady Nico turns back to you and asks you to wait for just a brief moment. Walking up to the nearest statue, she stops before it. The statue, looking to be made of a silvery metal, is of an older man properly fitted in formal wear with his hands behind his back. Mercury, I wish to speak to your guild leader. I have an appointment, she tells the statue. A moment passes before the statue seemingly responds. Of course, Lady Nico, and might I say, it is a pleasure to see you today. You look rather lovely. If you would follow me, please. The statue begins to move its limbs and appendages, taking on a bit of a liquid metallic form. Stepping down from its base, the statue heads towards a large staircase at the back of the room. Lady Nico motions for you all to join them as she continues to follow after the statue.
All right, I'll follow. I'm intrigued.
Mhm.
Double time, y'all.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Moving with
Yeah.
urgency.
Climbing the stairs, you're led down a hallway before stopping at a double door at the end of the corridor. The statue opens up the door and gestures you all inside. The room you now stand in is large circular room, and while there's no windows on the walls, a large glass dome resides overhead. Directly underneath the skylight, a round polished diorite table, its colorings and markings reminding you of someone that has mixed piles of salt and pepper together. Seating at the table are two individuals whom both stand upon your entry. The first, a well-dressed warforged in crisp blue robes, and beside him, a familiar face of Babacus. A large smile stretches across his face as he sees you enter.
Well, I'll be damned. So good to see you, my friends. And of course, to you too as well, Quinn.
Quinn dispels her Nico form before responding. And to you as well, Babacus, albeit I wished it weren't under the current circumstances. Thank you both for meeting me here on such short notice. The Warforged speaks up at this point. Of course, Quinn. This is a time where we must all come together to avert what's coming next. Please, you and your companions, come sit. We have much to discuss.
Respectfully, time is kind of critical right now. So
Yeah.
maybe
Always
less to
moving.
discuss would be better.
Quinn speaks up. I apologize for my younger companions here. They don't seem to understand the scope of what going in a full-on assault towards the Lionhead Manor would actually do. She looks back to you, Lucy. I'd mind you to listen a little bit more than perhaps speak at this point.
It's not very good at that.
Look at Ollie like, Dare you?
Okay.
Bobicus speaks up for a brief moment. Now, all of us must remain calm in a time like this. Please, come sit, hear us out, my dear friends.
I'm just
All
gonna
right, I
sit
go
down.
and sit down really
Yeah.
fast.
I'm gonna stand and protest, but just not at Bobicus.
As you all sit around the table, the Warforged speaks up once more. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Guildhall leader of the Golden Anvil, and while I was not given a proper name, many have come to call me Mystic.
Oh, Mystic.
Last.
Nice to meet you. I'm Ollie, Oliver. You could call me Ollie, though. Oliver Sprocket.
Ollie, it is a pleasure to meet you, my friend. Were you also used to work the mines?
Oh, no. You must have me mistaken for someone else. I mean, us Warforged, we all look the same, right?
Yes, and we are all built from the same place, with the same intention. Very curious. But as your friend said, we do not have much time to speak. I'm sure you have a few questions that you might have.
Generally, like all of us, do we have questions?
Yeah.
Or like specifically Ollie?
I speak to you all.
I mean,
I feel like our main question is, how do we save Eli?
What
Eli's our
exactly
friend
is the
that was
plan?
taken. Yeah, what's happening? What's going on? How do we get in there and get Eli out? That's all I care about right now.
In the most non-lethal way possible.
Well, that's nice of you, Trix.
I meant more our sakes, but you know, everyone.
Oh.
Everyone involved.
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense.
I'm really
Thank you, Trix.
concerned about everybody, but mostly me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a few ideas. We will need some type of distraction in order for us to get in. There's no way that we could possibly break in headlong. That's why I asked these two individuals here. You see, Bobicus represents a collective of those in the lower district. He has their ear. They look to him as a potential leader. And Mystic here, well, he has the ears of every Guildhall leader within the upper district. If we needed a force, these would be the individuals we need to speak to.
how long would it take to assemble a force?
That is a very good question, Oliver. And I look to you, my friends, to let me know. And she looks across the table at the two individuals sitting across. They look to one another.
Well, what kind of distraction do you have in mind?
I was
Have glitter
thinking...
bombs?
I'm sorry, did you say something?
Yeah, I have glitter bombs.
And you intend to throw glitter bombs at the guards outside?
I don't know. Might distract them for a little bit. They might wonder what it is. It's really sparkly and pretty when it goes off.
So you believe that by throwing glitter bombs that do no discernible damage to anyone will allow us the distraction that we need to give us enough time to head inside of the manor?
Maybe, or maybe it's just one possibility of many different steps we need to take. I'm just throwing out all the options here. Why are you so against that?
I don't know. While your heart is in the right place, I don't think that glitter bombs is enough potentially to give us enough time to enter into the manor.
All right, well, continue.
I've asked you both here in order to rally a few individuals. Given the circumstances within Trelis, it wouldn't be unusual for a small rallying of citizens throughout the city to potentially start a peaceful protest, if you will, outside of the manor proper. I think with enough individuals catching the guards off guard per se, that would give us enough time to sneak in through the back.
Not a bad idea. Is the back guarded at all?
I would assume that if we have a large group of individuals, that they would probably call for reinforcements to the front of the house, therefore pulling the guard away from the back.
That's fair enough. So far, a better idea than us storming there, like our original plan was.
Well, perhaps we can speak more of a potential plan. Eli.
Present.
You are brought through the front entrance of the manor, always having quite a few guards standing beside you. You try and remember what turns and twists you follow along, thinking you have a pretty good understanding of what the layout of the manor is. They take you in front of a large, reinforced wooden door with a large padlock on the front.
Great.
They undo the padlock and begin to lead you down into the lower cellars.
I want to see who has the keys. Who undid the lock?
I would say make a little bit perception check for me, please, and thank you.
Okay. 12.
12. You do watch as the individual unlocks the door. He pulls the padlock off before removing the key and putting it just on the side of his belt. You now see it hanging from a large loop. The other guards begin to escort you down a large set of stone staircase as the individual who you just watched unlock the door seems to stay behind.
Do I hear the door close?
As you hit the bottom of the stairs, you do hear the loud creak and slam of the door closing once more.
Any windows on the way down?
From where you stand now, it is almost complete blackness, void of any sunlight. There seems to be torch walls and little alcoves with candles that seem to be lit throughout. They give a eerie flicker off the cobblestone and create strange shadows that cast along the floor.
Okay, feeling a little uneasy. All right. I'll walk in silence.
You stop outside of one particular door, and as they open it up, they push you and your fellow captives inside. They begin to force you down to your knees. The chains around your wrists have been removed, only to be replaced with heavy iron shackles for both your wrists and your ankles, with a chain that seems to connect the two in the back. With your arms and legs bound behind your back, the guards forcing you down into a bit of a kneeled position. They do the same for Birdie and Tancred a few feet away from you. The bald woman oversees the entire process from the middle of the room. A few moments later, the door to the cellar prison opens again. An individual wearing black armor enters, their face hidden behind a pointed, rigid helmet. As the individual passes, you see in the cracks between the armor's plating a reddish-orange glow and the very faint sound of something like a roaring forge behind it. Directly behind him, a slight smirk on an otherwise cold facial feature of William Lionhead, the Lord Merchant. He barely takes notice of you as he passes, walking directly up to Birdie. Birdie stares back, not flinching for an instant, as Lionhead speaks up.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the prestigious Professor Winger, so glad you could join us today.
As defiantly as she could possibly be, Birdie simply responds, I prefer those of lesser integrity than I to address me as headmistress. You and I both know you are making a grave mistake, Lionhead. The Hawkins Institute would never be involved in a murder of a young man. Lionhead looks back to her.
Well, of course not. Nor could those sniveling renegade friends of yours do. Besides, I would never allow such incompetent groups for such an important task.
Birdie's eyes widen slightly. You can't be saying.
Your own son?
Lionhead cuts her off. That degenerate was an embarrassment to the Lionhead name. Gambling, drunken stupors, consorting with prostitutes. It was a problem that needed a solution for.
He was your son, William. Have you gone completely mad?
On the contrary, I see more clearly than I have in quite a long time. In fact, it has given me a vision, and now my intentions are much greater. Besides, a new son can always be born. Tinnitus's death was an honorable sacrifice that will save all of Trelis. You see, Trelis has always been divided thanks to the 5 merchant barons. For a city to become mighty, it needs the vision from a single source. But there was no way for the other 4 barons to hand over the domains, unless an emergency of the highest caliber was to occur. With the tragedy of losing my son and the backing of Temple Solus, I was easily able to convince the other barons to give me ultimate control over the city. And to thank them for their generosity, I gifted them with an immediate and painless execution. And now, not only do I rule all of Trelis, I can complete my life's work of summoning the Lion Savior. All that was left to be required of the ritual that need be is a powerful artifact to act as a catalyst. The immortal champion weapon that the Hawkins Institute is in possession of. By pinning the murder of my son on the legendary rebel group, the Defiant Grain, it would give us just enough cause to arrest you. You truly have gone mad if you believe I would offer such information to the likes of you. Of course, I knew that you would never willingly give up their location, under threat of pain or death. However, what would happen if you had to watch the same inflicted on the one you loved the most? The black-armored individual slowly approaches Tancred and towers directly over him. Tancred begins to laugh loudly. You truly believe a pathetic pup like this could make me talk? You and Solus have backed the wrong horse, Lionhead. Tancred moves his eyes over the Black Knight in front of him. You and I both know I've put you down before. And once these shackles come off, I'm going to put you down for good. But you have your one shot. Do your worst, little runt. The Black Knight lifts his hand and with a grated voice says one word. Melt. The heavy armor worn by Tancred begins to glow like a hot ember before it melts away.
As the molten metal drips to the floor, it causes massive boils and burns all over Tancred's body. He winces in pain, but not a single sound comes from his mouth. As the last bit of metal drips off of his chest, Tancred looks up once more, smiles, and spits at the Black Knight. I always knew you were lightweight. Seemingly unfazed by the disrespect, a ball of fire appears in the Black Knight's palm as he thrusts it into the now exposed chest of Tancred. The further searing of his flesh is now too much for Tancred as he screams out in pain, Birdie yelling to stop. Enough! Enough! I'm sorry, but the weapon is not worth my husband's life. It's the wings. The hawk statue nestled on top of the Institute. The wings are 2 parts of a shield. Lionhead smiles for but a brief moment and turns to face the Black Knight. You may proceed. And without a word, the Black Knight reaches out towards Tancred and twists his head around 180 degrees. Eli, you hear a large snap before watching Tancred's lifeless body fall to the floor. Birdie lashes out at the Black Knight. You bastard! I'll kill you! Lionhead turns back to the bald woman. We have what we need now, Midra. Go and retrieve the sculptor. For a moment, the woman does not move. Did you not hear me? He says with discontent. Still no movement. That is a direct order, Midra. You will collect the artifact immediately.
I want to try to make eye contact with her.
Make a persuasion check for me.
$16.
She glances down at you for a brief moment, a scowl across her face. What would you like to do?
Nothing. I just want to look at her.
Is there a particular look that you're giving her? Are you trying to convey something?
If she's somehow uncooperative for whatever reason, like if I can tell she's conflicted and she's not wanting to go along with what he's doing, he's being excessively cruel. See, the thing is, like, that's a tricky question, because I would say the look that Eli's going for is enigmatic.
Okay. The woman locks eyes with you for a brief moment. You try and convey a sense of reverent compassion in the situation, showing that you are an individual of honor and that you too do not believe in what's occurring in front of you. She breaks contact and looks away. Lionhead continues to yell in the face of Midra, but she remains unflinched. Suddenly, another voice rings out from the dark dungeon hallway. No, Willie, I don't think she'll be doing that. Coming into light, a short man smoking a cigar enters into the room. To the rest of the party, you continue to discuss for some time the plans of bringing these individuals together, what to say, what to do. having been thoroughly satisfied with Bobicus and Mystic's answers to bring these patrons together, you take one last moment to discuss amongst yourselves the intricacies of the plan. Is there anything any of you would like to add at this point to the upcoming event?
What exactly is the plan so
Yeah,
far?
yeah.
What?
The plan is to
Like-
have the
Like, I know we're gonna have some people in the front, like a forced gathering in the front, which is gonna
Yes,
draw
and-
people away from the back. I'm assuming
yes.
we're the forces coming in from the back, possibly with some other people.
Yes.
To the
And
best
that's
of
it,
your
right? That's
knowledge,
all we know.
thus
That's
to
all
the
we
best
know.
of your knowledge thus far, the plan is to bait the guards to come out to the front courtyard, if not further into the street. There you will make your way to the back entrance of the manor, and from that point, you are unsure exactly what to do, as there doesn't seem to be anyone with information regarding what can be expected inside of the manor.
Well,
That's one
have
we
you
got.
guys been in this manor before?
No, sadly, none of us have been inside the manor. We can only assume that there are safeties and precautions already put in place for someone like a merchant baron. What those are, they could be mechanical, they could be magical. There could be a slew of things that we face there.
Well, best to keep our plans loose and wild then.
And basically, you don't know,
Malleable, I think the word is.
you don't know anything about like magical protection inside or mechanical protection. You don't know how many people are inside, and you don't know if your people are still alive.
I apologize. This is Shade. He's my stalker.
I slap, I slap him on the back of the head.
You take 1 point of slap damage. No, I'm just kidding.
Watch the hair, Shade.
Quinn looks to you all. Make no mistake, this is a fool's errand. But it's our most likely chance of success. To any of you that wish to stay behind, we will understand. What say you?
We are the fools to
Come
charge in there.
We've already lost one companion. I'm not ready to lose another.
Okay.
So I'm all in.
Well said, Babo.
Very well then. I will give you all 1 hour to prepare. Bobicus and Mystic will get their factions ready, and the rest of you can prepare for whatever you believe you need to prepare for. Pray to your gods, sharpen your weapons. If this does not go quickly and quietly, we should all be prepared for battle. I will meet you in the back alley beside the Hawkins Institute. There's something I must retrieve first. The
What's
three
that?
begin to stand from the table. An item or two, I'm sure Birdie would want by your side at this point.
Okay.
Hey,
Let's get going. Start running.
We got an hour.
We got an hour.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They need to conjure up the people that caused the
So we're
destruction.
prepping.
Yeah.
Prepping,
Yeah.
prepping.
I immediately
Preparing
want to.
for literally
Ah,
everything.
Oh my
The
gosh,
calm before the
guys.
storm.
Eli has all the healing potions.
I have
I-
one.
I'm a
Are
walking
you
healing
gonna-
potion.
Am I gonna
You're-
what?
Yeah, you have to walk to be a healing potion. That's the
No.
problem.
Did you
I
prepare
took
more
some
healing
time.
spells than you had before?
I took some time, and now not only can I walk the walk, I can talk the talk. I can cast healing across distances now. Thank you very much.
Well said.
Better about that.
Gonna come in handy.
I wasn't prepared for the loss of a member, and failure just leads to learning, which leads to words of healing.
So Shade, it's under my assumption that you're going anywhere Lucy goes. Is that correct?
Yep.
Can we count on you to fully help us out in this situation?
As long as you're walking in, I'm following. Otherwise, nope.
So would it be best if you just stayed behind then, if you're not gonna give us your all?
I'll give you your all. If he walks into the house, I'll be in. If he runs away like a little rat, I'll follow him.
Easy.
It sounds like we should let Lucy lead the way then.
The way I see it is he can't bring me back to my parents' dead. So I think
No.
I think he has an invested interest. Luckily
Actually,
for us.
I think he would still have to bring you back if you were dead.
Okay, Ollie, listen. Let's not talk about
Do you have
No.
death right before we go into this.
would
Prefer
you
to
like
think positively.
Oh, I'm thinking positively, and I'd like to go into the corner and start trying to take those pieces of chainmail I had and actually form some chainmail armor.
As you move over to the corner of the circular room, of course, you get confused as you continue to walk in a circle. No, I'm just kidding. Pulling out the chainmail directly in front of you, putting it down on the table for a brief moment and looking it over, Mystic walks over to you. A fan of the Forge, I see.
Quite a fan, yeah. It's been useful to me, and Gibble's been good to me.
I see. I believe there might be a bit of assistance that we can have for this particular item. If you care to
Assistance would
follow
be
me, if you care to follow me to the workshop, I'm sure there's a few of our master makers there that would be more than happy to help you.
Great, lead the way.
Okay. Quinn looks at the rest of you and says, well, things to be done, to say the least. I would say our meeting is adjourned at this point. Go on wherever you feel you need to be and collect whatever you feel you need to collect. I will meet you in 1 hour.
Okay.
Reminds me, Ollie, hold up for a second. I'm gonna divvy out that 1,000 gold from last episode that I didn't
Absolutely.
divvy out. So everyone should have 166.
Aw.
You're gonna keep
See,
Eli's.
that's so nice of you. I thought for sure you would have kept it for yourself.
Keep in mind, Shade, no, you're not getting that.
So you're getting twice 166.
Yeah, Lucy, what are you doing with Alcor's share?
I mean, I divvied it up amongst everyone minus Alcor.
So you kept Alcor's share?
No,
They divided by 6.
Oh,
divided by 6 instead of
Okay.
7, like a
okay.
normal person might.
I don't know, Lucy. Sometimes you do some really.
Wait, you want me to
sketchy
go bury
things.
it?
No, I was gonna suggest we all split it. Actually,
Perfect.
so we're on the same page. That's very nice of you. I feel like you're a different person than when we first met you.
Easy turbo. I'll say that with a sly little smirk.
Hey, Mystic, we
Tiger,
can go
easy
now. They
Tiger,
go on like
is that
this for
better?
a while.
Of course, if you'll follow me. And he begins to lead you outside of the doorway. Barbicus speaks up at this point. Well, my friends, if there's anything you need from my store, just stop on by. I'd be happy to offer anything at a discount, mind you.
Have
We
anything
might take
that
you up
might
on that.
be helpful?
Well, do have a plethora of adventuring gear. Ropes, hooks, spears, knives. I have many things of which you could be looking for.
What about like invisibility potions?
No,
Or-
no, I don't do No, I don't do potions. Potions are for girls.
She's a girl.
All right.
Well, then she can
what
make the
about-
potions.
What about armor?
Armor. I might have a few things in the back. Need to be dusted off a little bit, but I might have something for you.
What about fireworks?
I don't know what a firework is.
It's like a big bomb that blows up in the sky to bright colors.
Speaking of which, what about big bombs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
big bombs work too. It'd be
Are
nice
you
to hear
referring-
Berkeley at the end.
Black
Are you
powder?
referring to the black powders?
Black
Sure.
powder. That was the one.
I don't particularly do, but there is a master of the cannon, if you will, just inside of the marketplace. You should be able to find her. There's usually some patchwork outside of her shop. She calls herself Shari Bombette.
Oh.
I love it.
Aw. Okay.
Well, thank you. Yeah. That's great.
Of course. And of course there's the we do have potion makers down in the marketplace as well.
Okay. That's good to know.
Quick
I
side
guess are we
thing.
just
The healing potion that I got in the last episode, what kind of healing potion was it so I can add it?
That was a greater healing potion.
Greater, thank you.
Nice.
Sorry.
Come on, I don't divvy out that stupid crap. Low level D4.
Okay, Shade, do you need anything? We don't know you at all. I mean,
I'm good. I'm not even sure Lucy will walk into any danger right now.
What's that
What?
supposed to mean?
From what I heard from his mommy, he's kind of the guy who runs away.
Okay.
he's been pretty brave. I mean,
Pretty?
when you,
Is-
I mean,
is-
when
is-
we
is-
first met,
Has it been more pretty than brave? Because I feel like that's an accurate description of it.
I mean, at the beginning. Now
I
he's
got
both pretty and
blinded
brave.
yesterday.
Exactly.
Wow.
He's gotten
I fought a
better.
strange frog person and a crocodile lady yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was just yesterday.
Yeah. We've all been through a lot, Shane. So, I mean, we may not be as like cool and suave as this Quinn group and Bobicus and all them, but
So Mama does not know what she's talking about.
Mama,
His mom.
My mother
I get
is
that.
what I said.
I get that.
She would be so proud of you, Lucy.
Oh, Lucy, I meant to tell you. Eventually, at some point, I could probably just call back home for you if you want. I need to
What?
buy a spell or a scroll.
Oh. Well, we'll
mean,
cross
it's-
that bridge when we
it's-
come to it, I guess.
It's a great idea. We should do it.
Why do you sound
You know what?
sarcastic, Shane?
If it keeps this one from hanging out in my room, I'm cool with that.
He hung out in your room? What
I did
happened
not.
in there?
I did not hang up in his room. Somebody else did.
Someone
Someone
Lucy, Who was
else.
in your room last night?
Yeah. Was it
Who's
fun?
to say?
Who said okay?
I thought it was him. I'm confused. It was a confusing experience, and I don't want to talk about it. Any
Just one of those you didn't get their name sort of situations.
easy
Oh
choice.
yes, the infamous medieval walk of shame, yes. As known throughout the ages.
Up to today.
Anyway, we have a
Sweater.
limited amount of time, and we should
Yeah.
probably be preparing to save our friend in case we've forgotten that's what's happening right now.
I haven't forgotten, Lucy, but we should go buy whatever we need. I don't know. Does anyone
What do
need
we
anything?
need?
I don't know.
I have-
I feel like
What I would like to get in mind,
what's that?
well, I'd like to get my hand on some black powder. I feel like it's helpful if things get a little dicey, and I
You
would
like
like
my idea?
for my robes to stop getting shredded, because it's very uncouth.
Classic Lucille.
Yeah,
Shut up, Shade.
I'm down for looking for some bombs. That could be helpful.
Do you even know how to use black powder, Lucille?
Of course I do. And it's Lucy.
Nah, it's not.
Is that your full name, Lucy?
No, Lucille's my father. I'm just Lucy.
Do you have a
Yeah,
I
middle
see
name?
calling you Lucille then.
You're the
'Cause
third.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's some strange.
You're the third of the
mercenary.
name, Lucille.
Lucille the Third.
I mean, Lucy gets bright in the face at this point. Where are we supposed? Let's go. I'm just gonna start walking towards. I'm gonna start working towards. Well, did Bobicus leave to go back to his shop? I'm confused by that, actually.
At this point, the Mystic has brought Ollie to another section within the manor. Quinn seems to be staying behind for a brief moment, waiting for you guys to do something. And Bobicus has properly left.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll start walking to the silver pony then.
Okay. If you
Anyone
didn't have
wants to go see
inspiration, I'd
Bobicus, come
already
with
give
me.
you inspiration. Just for
Okay.
remembering a name.
Oh yeah, I'm an elephant. I don't forget.
Okay.
Like
I'm
that
a
elephant
goldfish.
that was in the that
Shit.
flirted with me that one time.
Okay.
Shall we
So
go
are
and get
we
equipment?
What's
going
that?
shopping?
Yeah,
Well, we have time. See
we
what
got a
can
quick
get.
little shopping spree.
Okay.
Speed walk. I'll race you. Ready? Go. And I just start speed walking.
Who are you racing?
What are you racing?
I'm whoever's coming.
Herself.
I'd like to attempt to trip Alara.
Everybody just walks.
Tell you what, Lucy and Alara, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Okay.
And while they do, welcome, my friends who have just raided our lovely little channel. We're in the midst of our game, but I hope you stick around and watch for a little while.
13.
16.
Shit.
Ooh, as you begin to run down the streetway, leaving your companions behind, Lucy, you try and stick your foot out for a brief moment. However, your foot gets caught on your lovely cashmere robe, sending you ass over foot, digging into the dirt.
Hope it really-
Cheater!
I'll stop. I'll stop and put my hand out and say, "Nice try, Lucille." And I'll offer my hand to help him
Oh,
up.
used his full name? Oh. You know
Shade is
that's
laughing.
I'm so glad Eli can't see us now.
Although I was just running, and now one of our party members fell. I'm just helping him up. Okay, I don't see you helping him up. How are we gonna get there any faster?
Not messing around.
God, you're so serious. Okay, let's go.
He's a grown man. He should be able to walk by himself.
True, but sometimes it's nice just to have a friend, you know.
Yeah. You should still be able to walk by yourself when you're not drunk.
Oh boy, here we are at the Silver Pony.
Flash forward.
Oh, well, as you make your way towards the marketplace, Oliver, you're taken down to the lower levels of the guild hall of the Golden Anvil and Hammer. As you make your way down there, you begin to immediately feel the heat of the forges that seem to be spread out in a massive room, almost like a warehouse area in the most lower realms of the guild hall. You see a number of individuals pounding on hot metal, creating interesting and intricate weapons, armors, shields, and much more. Mystic brings you over to a particular individual. You see in front of you another Warforged, but based on what you know of Warforged, this is a bit of an older Warforged. He seems to have a bit of rust in certain areas. Mystic stops you outside of the Forge's workshop. Oliver, I would like you to meet my dear friend. This is Zazu.
Pleasure to meet you, Zazu.
The individual looks over to you. You can now see that some of his parts don't seem to be working the same way as they were before, as one eye seems to veer off into space, while the other barely focuses on you. What? What? Huh? Who's this now? Mystic.
My name is Ollie. Oliver Sprocket. You can call me, but my friends call me Ollie. You could be my friend if you'd like.
No, I know, but it's a pleasure to meet you, Sprocket.
Oh God, no!
The pleasure's all mine.
Mystic puts his hands on both of your backs. Now, Zazu, this young man looks to forge a piece of armor that seems to have been broken. Is there anything you can do to potentially teach him of how to fix his armor? Of course, I'm Zazu. I can do armor. I have swords. I can do many a thing. Many a thing.
I got a question as well, you seem like more of an old-fashioned armorer, but this armor in particular, like with my skills, it would just be regular old armor, but the person it's intended for would probably like a little bit of, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but can it be stylish and maybe sparkling?
Zazu, looking immensely irritated, looking back to you, stops and looks deadpans you in the face. Did you just call me old? And as he says that, a little bit of smoke begins to billow out the side of his head.
No, I didn't mean that. You look young and sprite like any old young whippersnapper. You look great.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I might be able
if
to
anyone
help
knows about style, it's got to be you.
Well, respecting your elders, I can appreciate that, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, Mystic, I can help out this one. And Mystic turns back towards you both. Very well, I will leave you in very good hands. What would you like to do, Ollie?
I'd like to forge some stylish chainmail armor. It's sparkly, almost like sparkly like the stars, like looking up at the night sky.
I think I know what you're talking about. I might be able to help you out. Lay your armor out, boy.
All right, I'll lay it down so his one eye can see it.
All right. So, looking down at the armor, he spreads it out so that there's no creases or crinks. Each one of the chainmail links perfectly laid out. And you want this to sparkle, you say?
If that's possible, that would be amazing. Yeah.
You see, when it comes to sparkle, it is less about what you put on the armor itself, but the individual who wears it. We will work together to create a bright shine if we can. What say you, my boy?
I say let's get started.
Okay. Ollie, are you proficient with either tinker's tools or masonry tools or anything along those lines?
Smith's tools.
Even
and
better.
alchemist supplies with them. And dragon chess.
All right. Make a dexterity check and go ahead and add your proficiency bonus to it, please.
Can I use my advantage?
You can absolutely use your inspiration, my friend.
Inspiration, I mean, yeah.
Calling down on prayers from Gibble himself. You try again.
Ooh, that's better. 19.
Very good. You begin for the next hour or so. We'll say 45 minutes, given the timeline that you're in. Zazu begins to point out specific features, giving you a little bit more detail in your work. You've always been focused on just getting the piece done in large sections. However, Zazu begins to show you the finer things of craftsmanship when it comes to any kind of blacksmithing that you might do. For the rest of the party, while Oliver continues to work on his new set of armor, what would you like to do?
Go get your stuff, Lucy. Come on.
I'll go into the silver pony first. Is Bobicus there?
Walking into the front doors of the silver pony, you do see Bobicus there. He seems to be seated behind the counter, no other patrons within the store. He takes a large swig of a goblet of some sort before spitting it out on the ground. No, that batch isn't gonna do. No, a little too foul. Ah, my friends, welcome back. Pleasure to see you again. What might I do for you?
Well, that armor we talked about earlier. Think we might go dust it off, see what we have.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? He walks towards the back of the room, disappearing for a brief moment behind a small archway. He comes back holding a very old, non-polished set of armor. He puts it down in front of you. I don't know how good it will be for you. It's rather old, but it should fit. Should do the trick for you. You recognize the armor as half plate.
Half plate. Okay.
Looks nice, Lucy.
Shh. I'm gonna like run my finger down it and kind of like flick the dust like this. Bobicus, how much could this possibly be worth?
Well, it might stop a sword.
Yeah, well, you know, in that scenario, might isn't exactly gonna cut it. But
Oh, God.
Oh, Suddenly,
Ollie, do you
rocks
approve?
fall from the ceiling of the silver pony, landing directly on Lucy.
Lose inspiration.
I'll take it.
Well, you're probably right. It's a little bit older. It might not last that long for you. But, well, I'll give it to you for, say, 200 gold.
Bobicus.
Uh,
Wait,
I
Lucy,
just feel like it's worth
Lucy,
half
no.
that.
Yeah, what?
If anything.
Bobicus, come on, we're friends, right? Like,
No, I'm already giving you a discount. I don't think that you should have more than that. 150 gold. That's my final offer.
Did you just bump it up 50 gold?
No, he put it down, Lucy.
Oi.
Are you very bad
He
at
said
math?
200 gold the first time, didn't he?
And now it's 150.
Oh, I thought he said 250.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Did I say 250?
No, I mean, if you
No.
said 250, I was going to walk away. So if you're rethinking your negotiation practices, I would stop there.
Do me a favor and make a persuasion check for me.
Just because I
Can I
can't
be
hear in real life
assisting?
because I served. I'm just kidding. All right.
Can I be assisting?
That persuasion? Can she be?
Hold on.
Assist.
Before you do, Alara, how would you like to assist Lucy in this persuasion?
I am grabbing I'm grabbing my skirt and I'm just sort of swaying and batting my eyes and saying, come on, please.
I hate I have to give you advantage on this roll right now, but go ahead, Lucy. Make a roll with advantage for me, please.
Good, because the first one was a 2. Not as bad. I
Well,
got plus
you always
6,
have
but
insta.
that's a 14.
You're absolutely right. I did say 150 gold. That's what I said in the first place. It must have been what was in my goblet before. I'm still working on that bit of remembrance ale, if you will. Might have just kind of kicked in at that point.
And you be sure to let us know when that's ready. But I suppose because you're a friend, I'll take this off your hands for 150.
You're a good man, Lucy. You're a good man.
Aren't I?
No, he's not.
Go ahead and
Shane, where did
deduct.
you come from? God,
I
you're
was
so
in the
creepy.
back.
You just show up out of nowhere all the time.
That's what I do.
Okay, so
All right.
150 gold.
Deduct 150 gold, and you can go ahead and add half plate to your equipment.
Thank goodness. Laura, you need anything from here?
So, is the bomb, sure, bomb bet is where we need to go for the bombs, right?
Oh yes, Cherie, yes, Bombette. She's just down the street again. Just be careful when you walk by. They're prone to a little bit of debris spilling out into the street now and again. Just keep your eye open.
Okay. Debris of what? Gunpowder?
No, of the building, of things within the building that seem to be rocketing out onto the street. It can be very quick. You don't want to catch a brick from the head after one of her explosions.
Fair enough. Thanks for the warning. And
Well,
thanks
least
for the
I could do.
discount.
Well, the least I can do, pretty lady.
I'll curtsy.
All right. As the rest of you begin to leave, unless there's anything else you guys would like to purchase. For those of you who have been a little less vocal.
I'm interested to see what Sherry Bombette has.
All
I
right.
bet you are.
Well, I'll tell
Pyro.
you what, Trix. I'll tell you what, Trix. I will tell you exactly what Sherry Bombette has right after a quick break.
Aw.
So, for all of you who have joined us so far, all of the newcomers, thank you so much for the follows, the bits, the subs, all of the wonderful things that you've offered to our very silly faces. We very much appreciate that. Specifically to Legends of Alos. Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. I hope you're enjoying your evening and our little strange campaign that we seem to be putting on. To those who are new, we do take questions about the campaign, about the characters, anything along those lines during our break period. So leave that down in chat. We will get to each and every one of them. But before we leave, I'd like to raise one last glass to not only my cast members, but to all of you who seem to be watching us all today. A cheers as we hydrate with one another. Hear, hear, my friends.
And to Tancred.
Here.
To Tancred.
Oh.
Or
To
Tancred.
Tancred.
Went out like a champ.
Yeah, I'm not
Yep.
drinking him. That's metagaming.
Hey, you know what? I'll allow it for today, Ollie. I will totally allow it.
Inspiration.
Inspiration for all. Not so much. I'm just kidding. Don't
Not
listen.
for all these.
Anyway, guys, we're just gonna take. Oh, I just smacked my mic really hard. I'm sorry for that. We're gonna take a quick bio break. Go ahead and go get your refreshments, whatever you seem to be having for your drinks for the evening, and we will be back in a few short moments. Stay tuned. And by the way, if you're not following already, we got our little goal thing right here. 200 followers, and we're gonna give a giveaway. I promise you that. Happy 6th month, everybody. We'll be right back. And we are back.
2-1.
Thanks to everyone who has stuck around for the short break. Hopefully you grabbed your favorite beverages while we were away. We did have a couple questions come in from chat over the course of our small break, so we will go ahead and take a look at those now. First and foremost, Cross to Streams, our #1 fan. Alara, any chance of Shadow returning anytime soon? Would he give a certain new party member attitude for his name choice?
Ooh.
Shadow, you're dead.
Well, hopefully soon. And thank you for reminding me that I need to buy incense to bring back Shadow. So maybe I'll do that.
Thank God you're in a marketplace right now.
Yep.
Our good friend Vixstraws over at Top Down Tabletop, which if you are not following, I would highly recommend going and checking them out. Another wonderful group of canads like us. She asks, did you guys think this is where you'd be in 6 months of streaming? Very good question. I'll turn it over to Alara to ask that question, to answer that question.
I was just hoping not me first. I don't know. I mean, I think we all had hopes, but I think we all went into this just wanting to have fun. So at the same time, I think every time we come on and stream and there's a follow or even a comment, we're like super hype. Well, I'm super hyper about it. So I mean, yes and no, I guess is the answer to that.
What about you, Shade? What do you think about it?
Come on, I moved to Canada 3 years ago. I wanted to play D&D. I met you guys, all beautiful people. I'm happy. Like everything on top is just the cherry on the cake.
That's the sweetest answer I could have imagined.
I swear to God, Alara hearts and chats. Please and thank you. Funny story, Shade and I, aka Swiss Dave, met over the internet.
Facebook.
Proving to everyone that you can make friends over the internet. It's not a myth. We did it. We did it. And we have this beautiful soul.
I feel like
to
there's some
remind us
sort
of
of
that.
warning that should be attached to that.
Yeah, I feel like
I didn't say darknet, okay? I didn't say darknet. Just
It was
to
a
be clear on all of that.
It was a D&D dating site.
Yeah. What about you, Trix?
A
What do you
man
think?
named Shade. Did I think that I would be playing D&D in a dress? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not.
Are all of your hopes and dreams met now?
They've all come true. No, but I agree. It's, yeah, every time something happens, it's super exciting. Anytime people are like talking about what's going on, it's like, wow, they're interested. So no, I didn't think so.
All right. Eli, what do you think?
Well, first I want to shout out Shanks and Vix because they're talking about how they met on the internet, and that's like my favorite love story. It's so cute. Anyway, I would say weirdly, with or without all of the experiences that have come since we started, I feel like I would be equally engaged in the campaign. Like, I'm still brand new to D&D, and like Raina knows, I'm obsessed with this campaign. This is all we talk about. I have so much fun. I look forward to it every single week. So I'm still like on the high of just like the love of the campaign. So I guess no, I wouldn't have predicted that we would be here, but also I wasn't thinking about those predictions. I was just like obsessed.
Fair enough.
Am obsessed.
Pavel, what do you think, my friend?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Eli. I didn't really think that far ahead. I just love playing D&D. Heck, I met you guys online too. And so when this idea came about, it was more about just having a good time and hopefully bringing our old game and that energy here. As far as 6 months down the line, I try not to project too much, because then you kind of put too much stress on yourself. So I didn't have expectations. I was just hoping that we'd have a fun, good campaign. And so far it's been great.
Okay, fair enough. Ollie, what do you think, my friend?
After 6 months, I'm delighted. I'm definitely more like, we are kind of where I thought we'd be, but like, especially because we did a campaign before this, there was people that would constantly be like, oh, I can't make tonight, I drop out and stuff. I'm really surprised, and it just shows how much everyone's enjoying it, that we've pretty much hit every session. Like, none of us has missed. We've missed like maybe portions of it, and we were late to sessions for like work-related things, like things we had no choice over. But I'm like happy that we've all hit every sessions for 6 months straight, which is a pretty big feat.
It is. Yeah.
Also, did I think we'd be like beyond just like no one's dropped off the campaign, we've actually added someone to the campaign, which we never thought would happen, which would be a great segue if I didn't have more to say.
Couldn't have left that to the end, eh, buddy?
He's a great addition.
Friends from the internet.
Yeah, he's a great addition, and honestly, if we didn't have him, then my doodling and stickman would have to be our art for our channel, and that wouldn't work. And also,
give yourself some credit.
Yeah. And third, I just thought Swiss Dave would be on his like third or fourth character by now. But other than that, like everything's going exactly how I would want it to go.
Very well said, my friend. Very well said.
Next time I'll take you down with me.
Fair enough.
Lucy, as our newest member, as an individual who has never played with us before, let alone ever played D&D to its full extent, how have you felt about the experience?
I still don't know what's going on.
Come on, Lucio.
I try to pretend like I know what's going on, but I really don't. People here in this community have surprised the living hell out of me, and just how welcoming and funny and awesome they are. So the success is, like most everyone has said, is just that's second fiddle to just the amount of fun and community that I've found here.
Oh, someone's getting a little misty-eyed in front of all of you. It's okay. It's okay. We can share
And I
our
love
feelings,
seeing
my
fan
friends.
art as well. Just
Oh,
to
yeah.
throw that in there too.
Our fan art is
Shout out to
incredible.
Vix.
Yeah. And cross
No pressure.
and cross to streams.
And crossed it.
Oh yeah.
Super fan.
Well, if I had to give any kind of answer, my friends, did I think that we would be where we are today in 6 months? No, I thought we'd have 200 followers by now. God damn it! Go ahead and follow right here.
Alright.
Just do right here. Go to, no, I'm just kidding. I'm
Way to
kidding.
kill
I'm kidding. I'm
everything.
kidding. In all fairness, did I think that we'd be where we are 6 months? Wholeheartedly, yes. And the reason for that being is I always wanted to tell a fantastic stories with people that I love dearly and share that with all of you within our community. I never thought that we would get the reception that we've been having so far, but that was never the point. And that's never the point in D&D. You're here to share an experience with friends, to sit around a table and roll dice for a couple hours, have a couple drinks and a couple laughs. Shut up, Vix, or Trix. I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a thing.
That's Vix.
But did I think we would be here in 6 months? I think we've accomplished so far what we've wanted to accomplish the entire time, which is tell a great story for all of you. Whatever's followed beyond that is just amazing and heartwarming in every aspect, with our community, with our friends that we've made, and I do consider you friends. So as our 6-month anniversary, thank you for each of you for sticking around and watching our silly faces.
Speaking of friends, your friend Vix there gave you uninspiration.
Wow!
Go ahead. And,
Wow!
Yeah, you can take that off.
minion
I'm about to
tokens.
take off my crown, young lady. I
it
swear to
off.
gosh. I swear to gosh. One last question before we get back into our game for the evening. Has Lucy ever been in love? And if he doesn't want to tell us about us, can shade. I turn to you,
Ooh.
Lucy.
So, I don't know if I want to answer this. I will say, yes, he has been in love. Whether
Was it
that
with that
is
elephant?
with more than just himself is the question. Because he is definitely in love with himself. But you can go ahead and see how Shade wants to answer that, because I'm just as curious as you are.
Shade hopes that he loves his mommy, but he believes it's only in love with himself.
And maybe time will tell. Who knows?
Okay.
Well, speaking of love, before we jump back into the episode, one thing, I apologize, Vix. I meant to say Trix. Your names just rhyme far too much. Beyond that, speaking of love in the utmost, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the entire Careful Cantrip community, I just want to say a very, very huge congratulations to our member, Infamous Bob, on his recent engagement. My heart bursts for the two of you. You are both wonderful people. I've had such a pleasure talking to you both online. Both as DM and friend. And I swear to God, if I don't get an invitation to your wedding, I will burn this motherfucker to the ground. Do you hear me? I swear to God. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Lots of love for both of you. Very much. Everybody loves you, including both the cast and the community. So with that said, I think it's about time to jump back into tonight's episode. As you all make your way through the marketplace, you eventually hit a small shop with patch marks of wood throughout the entire complex itself. You can see a little bit of smoke streaming outside of cracks within the wooden boards that line the exterior of the building. As you walk up to the front door, a small rumble shakes and a loud bang from behind. Oh, well, I better not do that one again. You hear from the other side. What would you all like to do?
Trix, I think this is
Go
you.
on in. Yeah.
I do want to see if they have fireworks, though.
Walking into the building, you are taken aback by how disheveled the entire building is. Splashes of black soot seems to line every inch of the wall, like someone had taken a dip into ink and splattered it throughout. Entering into a small hallway, there's a little bit of a right turn that leads into a larger showcase area. Looking around, you see the same splatters of soot all across the walls, with very interesting and unknown devices sitting on shelves. Large barrels filled with a black sand-like substance. And behind, a small gnomish woman with very large goggles that seems to be looking around with black soot stretched across her face.
Hello.
Oh, dearie me. Hello. Welcome to the Bombette shop. I am Cherie Bombette. I'd be happy to help wherever I can.
Wonderful. This looks like a great little shop you got here. So can you tell me a bit about what you have available? I'm looking for something that'll blow up.
She squints her eyes as a big smile busts across her face. So you want to blow things up, do you, lass?
Yes.
I can help with that. What kind of explosions are we talking about? Do you want to blow up a bike, a horse, a building, a city? What are we talking about here?
There's a lot of concerning things in here.
If anyone blows up a horse, I quit.
No blowing up horses, guys.
Maybe a building, but also maybe something smaller, just in case.
A building? I respect that. Well, our black powder that we have strewn about will make any sort of explosion that you're looking for. If you'll give me a few moments, I might be able to pack something proper just for you.
Perfect, thank you.
She gives a small wink towards Trix. She walks behind the counter. So, what do you plan on blowing up?
Well, don't know yet, but we're getting into a tricky situation, so we gotta be prepared. Could be a cart, could be a building, could be an area.
Oh, I like you.
Not really sure.
Well, how much damage do you want to do?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's the general idea, no?
Fair enough. Well, I have devised this way when it comes to my explosions. If you'd like, I can put a few nails inside. It causes the massive amount of damage. It's a thing I like to call shrapnel.
Oh.
Infamous Bob, it's gonna be okay. Don't think about it.
Yeah, okay.
Right up my alley then. And she takes a large handful of nails out of a glass jar that sits off to the side and begins packing it down into this small vessel that she seems to be loading with black powder. Well, it might not take out an entire building, but it should do the trick for you.
All right.
Now, is there anything else that you're looking for? I specialize in cannons and cannonballs. It's been said that I can shoot the largest balls in all of Trelis.
Well, I think a cannon might be a bit conspicuous, so I'm gonna have to pass on the cannon. How do the other explosives come? How big are they?
Big, small, we've got them all.
Perfect.
I've got a question. That contraption you just made with the nails in them, how far away should we be if that thing goes off?
Good question.
Oh, I'd say 50 feet at a minimum.
Minimum.
Really good to know.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
I'm gonna
probably.
write that down.
She scratches her head. I should really start telling my patrons of how far they should stand away. If it's created an issue in the past, definitely. Thank you kindly,
a lot of repeat
Birdman.
customers.
Oh, now that you mention it.
What about, does anything have like a delayed reaction, like maybe a switch, or maybe like give us some time, like a wick or something?
Fuse.
The fuse, yeah, that's what I meant. Not a
Well,
wick.
I mean, you can always try shoving some rope in there. That might do the trick for you.
All right. Yeah. Do you have any rope? I probably have some actually, but maybe just in case. Do you have any?
I think I can drum up some for you. She walks to the back of her shop once again, coming back. She holds now a what looks to be a 50-foot coil of rope.
Okay, great.
Do you have anything that explodes on impact?
No, I'm still working on that one. All require a little bit of firepower.
What about fireworks? Big explosion in the sky, many colors. Sparkling.
I might be able to help
Idiot,
out with
Alara.
that.
You can talk like a normal person.
I am talking like a normal person.
Big explosion in the
mean?
sky, many colors.
Big explosion, many colors, Hulk smash.
Color's good. Burn sky, baby.
Color's good. Alara like color.
Fine. I'll speak in proper sentences from now on. Your
That would be
Highness,
best.
Lucille the Third.
Easy.
Please
You're on
tell
thin
Eli
ice.
that's his name immediately.
Hey, stop metagaming.
Well spoken. Well, if you're looking for some explosions in the sky, I might be able to help with that as well. Or is there any particular color that you're looking for?
Purple.
Purple. Very well.
Yes.
She walks over to the other side of the countertop where she begins to pull off a few what you would see as pieces of chalk. Throwing them down into a mortar and pestle, she begins to add a few dried flower petals to it as she crunches down on them. It takes but a few moments, pulling it out and now dumping it into a small tube-like structure. She packs it down once again, putting a cap over top, handing it back to you, Alara. This'll make lots of purple for you.
Amazing. How do I just light it with fire?
Yeah, light it with fire, run like hell. That's generally what I tell my customers to do.
Okay,
Fun.
we're gonna use this to celebrate when we get our friend back.
Whatever you say,
How
lass.
much?
Whatever you say.
You mean run like a Avernus?
God.
That too. That too. For your wee friend there with the horns and this one right here, be about 50 gold.
All
Okay.
right. No problem.
I'll
I'll
put
hand her.
put down 50 gold. I got it, Trix.
Oh, wow.
Well, hey, big spender.
And no incense or shadow.
Oh yeah.
No incense for Shadow.
And I'm broke.
Look how quick she forgot that.
I need incense. Please, can I buy incense? Please don't make me go to another store.
We do sell incense here. It is a
Okay.
form of the
Wow.
black powder. Each one, depending on which variety you're looking for, it goes for about 5 copper a piece.
When it gets to the bottom, it just.
Okay. Yeah, I need like 30 gold pieces worth of incense.
Absolutely, I can help with that. And she reaches behind the counter and drops a bunch of incense sticks, now piling high about 6 to 8 inches above the counter.
God, this spell is the worst. Okay.
Excuse me.
Alright. I'll hand over 30 gold and I will put it in my bag of holding. And I'll put the fireworks in there too. Or fire. Is it one firework? Or work?
Yes.
Plural?
Yeah,
No, it's
how many,
fun, one
how many
firework.
bombs? How many bombs are here?
You asked for the one.
Oh, I just asked for the one?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I said I wanted to blow up something big and something small. Do you have
Oh, right.
another
Sorry,
bomb? Something
I'd be
small?
able to help with that. She walks over to one of the shelves, picking up a egg-shaped object with a tiny piece of wood stuck into the side. You can have this one. This will do a little bit of a smaller explosion. Just pull the wee bit of wood out from there, throw it really, really far, and run like Avernus.
All right, great. Thank you. How much is that going to be?
I'll give that away at about 10 gold.
All right, here you go.
Trix, go ahead and remove the 10 gold from your character sheet, please.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much. This has been very helpful.
Oi, it's been my pleasure. And if there's any type of explosions or projectiles you look for in the future, come see Bombette. I'll help you out. And she gives a wink
right.
once again.
All right, I'll wink back at her. And I'll walk away, and then I'll look back at her. Keep walking.
Oh.
Oh, she notices you looking back, girl. She notices you looking back. She gives a bit of a young girlish smirk as you walk away.
All right.
So, Lara, how much time do we have left?
I don't have a watch, but I just look up and DM, what time is it? How much time
At
do we
this
have left?
point, it's probably been about 40 minutes since you left the guild hall.
We have 20 minutes left.
Well, we still gotta walk back as well.
And how
Which
long
took
did it
us
take to
exactly
get
how
here?
long, Alara?
Yeah.
How
How
long?
many steps and how much time?
We'll be fine if we leave now. Do you need something, Pablo?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
He's
Well,
a minimalist. You know how
should
monks
we-
are.
I'm ready to
We
go
walk
right now.
back?
Yes, we should probably.
I'm
get
ready
that
if
done.
everyone else is. We need
Yeah.
to get Eli. I
Yeah,
mean,
let's do this.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned as hell right now.
I know. Let's go. We're not gonna lose Eli. Don't worry. Let's go.
We make our way back up to the manor, to the backside.
You
Right.
guys make your way through
not
the
to that manor
marketplace up to the upper district. As you see the guild hall once more. Oliver, I need you to go ahead and make one more sleight of hand check for me, and you can do that at advantage.
Okay. Thank God. That was not the one. 19 again.
19, well done. As you strike down on the last piece of hot metal of the chainmail, you hold it up in front of you once more as Zazu pats you on the back. Well, that's a pretty good job there, young man. Yeah, I hope you learned something here. Remember,
I did, and
the metal works through you, not for you.
thank you. I've learned a lot, and you've been extremely helpful.
He pats you on the side of the arm, and as you do, you feel this vigor of recognition of a true blacksmith. You have earned inspiration, my friend.
Oh.
I'm not sure who gave me that, but thank you.
Shanks.
And again, the inspiration suddenly disappears.
Can it disappear from Lucy too? Because
Well, I didn't even use it.
Shanks.
I haven't got advantage in years.
Leaving the guild hall, you say goodbye to both Zazu and Mystic, as well as trying to say goodbye to Mercury, although he does not respond to you. Leaving the front doors, you make your way back out into the street proper. Walking for just a few moments, you hit the main pass or intersection of the upper district. Looking down the way, you see your friends approaching you.
Let's wave at them. Hello.
I don't think back.
Alara's the only one. Just
Yeah, it seems about right.
I just want to make sure it's recorded.
They catch us and they're like, "How did you guys make out?"
So good. We bought bombs. Lucy got really nice armor.
We didn't
Um,
Got a
make
I
out.
little
got
tap
a-
to it.
I even got a present for us once we save Eli.
Great.
What?
I hope that you didn't buy any great armor, because I did happen to make this for you, and I'll pass you the sparkly armor, and say, I know with Alcor I wasn't able to save him, and like I feel really bad for that, and he was kind of your protector, and also in that battle I almost managed to lose you as well, and I don't feel like I've been as good of a healer as I can, but maybe this armor in memory of Alcor can help to protect you as he would like to protect you, and maybe next time it'll help me in protecting you as well.
I'll
So-
just give Ollie a huge hug, although he's huge, so.
I'll
Thank you.
reciprocate.
This is so kind. I'll put it on right away. This is also beautiful. How does it look? And I'll spin around.
As you spin around, the somehow darkened chainmail begins to glow little tiny reflections, almost as stars in the night sky, as you twirl around.
I tell you, Alara, if I were a painter, I don't know how I would capture that. You look
Oh.
amazing.
Thank you, Lucy.
Oh.
Hopefully it'll serve to
Lucy,
protect you
make a
well.
deception check for me. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding.
Great at deception, dog.
Ollie, this is so. I don't know how I'm gonna repay you, and I don't. What happened to Alcor is just. we tried our best. It's not your fault.
Well, hopefully it'll serve you well, and hopefully it's to your liking. I did try to make it as stylish and sparkly as you would want, and of course sparkles in relation to how Alcor liked to look at the stars. Hopefully he'll be looking down on you now.
Yeah. I know he is. He's also watching you. He's watching all of us. I know.
He will be.
Laura, as you put the chainmail over top of your very beautiful dress, the glimmer weave of the fabrics of the fibers begin to synchronize with the chainmail itself. It melts almost together, creating a beautiful blue long dress that now sparkles like the night sky.
Oh man, amazing. Amazing. I'll do another spin and then I'll end in a pose and say, now let's go save our other friend.
Well, that seems very aggressive.
I'm ready now. Look at me. I'm ready for battle.
It's
I'm
an
back.
aggressive spin.
She's right. Let's do this, and I'm gonna give her a nice little Lucy love slap, like I like to do.
As Alara finishes her spin and enters her pose, a constellation breaks across the front of her chest. Of that of a silver dragon.
You little tearjerker.
Gotta pull on those heartstrings, bud. Gotta pull on those heartstrings. You all continue to make your way through the upper district, back to the city center proper. You stand outside of the Hawkins Institute for a brief moment. Not for long, but enough time for you to recollect over your time here within Trelis, of the strange occurrences and the friendships that you've made. Leaving the front entrance, you make your way to the back alley, only to find Quinn standing ready for you. She has a very beautiful golden bow held in hand, with a bit of a scruffy looking quiver slung over her shoulder. Well, my friends, have you finished all that you needed to prepare?
Believe we have.
Very
Ready as we'll
good.
ever be.
Well, in that case, let us embark. Returning back to her Lady Nico form once more, you all begin to make your way towards the area to which Pavo had recently visited. As you begin to make your way to the upper districts, you see a large population of guards, more so than you had before, all wearing relatively heavy armor. As you continue to walk, you catch the eye of one guard in particular. He shouts over towards you. Hey! Yous there! What's your purpose in this upper district?
I'm gonna push Quinn, like, here, this is your shit. Like, this is your stuff. Like, push her forward.
As you push her forward, the guard notices you looking at her, pushing her forward. Planning to push a lady? I'd expect as much as someone as colorful and flamboyant as you.
Thank you for noticing.
He doesn't smile in any way, shape, or form, and
Slap
motions
Lucy on the back of the
Lucy
head.
in particular towards him. You got a
He motions
smart
me
mouth,
to-
boy.
Thank you. I'll curtsy. I'll
You know,
wink at
we-
Alara when I do it too.
I'll wink back. I'll wink back.
We could do the whole song and dance. Me having to search you, take you in. I'm sure a little bit of gold would ease your worries, and mine as well.
I doubt that's necessary. As I cast suggestion.
First, make a spell roll for me, please.
Okay.
Oh, please, God.
As I cast fireball on myself.
Swear to God, Lucy, if you fuck this up.
Oh, oof, it was a 4. That was-
The spell seemingly doesn't take effect due to your sense of urgency that you have in order to save your friend at this point. Your focus is just too far outside the realm. Very unhappy at the attempt, the guard furrows his brow as he raises his hand up towards you. He begins to smash down with a backhand. You wince for but a brief moment, closing your eyes. But the hit never occurs. As you open your eye, looking back once more, you now see the outstretched arm of Shade holding back the blow. Another image of Shade stands directly behind the guard with a long bluish sword pushed directly to his neck.
Best stalker ever. All right.
The guard
I just
seemingly very fazed by the occurrences, puts his hands up and says, I'm not looking for any kind of trouble, all right? Shade removes his hand and crosses his arms, standing beside Lucy.
I'm gonna
The-
adjust my robes.
Fixing your robes proper, the vision of Shade directly behind the guard evaporates. The guard, not knowing what to do, looks to all of you. Yeah, you'll pay for this, as he takes off running down the way. Shade gives a simple nod towards Lucy.
I will slap Lucy behind the head, like, don't make me do this again.
Does he mean we're still
watch
paying
it.
in
Oh, it's
gold?
all part of the plan. All right.
What it is? Of course it is.
Look, they're coming out now. He's getting help. This is all working. It's all coming together.
We didn't want
We're
help in the
drawing more
back.
attention than we needed. A simple couple gold probably could have solved this situation. Now it's
Too
a
cheap, Lucy.
I don't have that much gold left.
You cheap bastard.
Well, Mama should have sent you with something for me. I don't know why she didn't. I'm supposed to be rich.
She sent me something for me if I bring you back.
Such a waste.
We
Let's
can
continue,
discuss it
please.
later.
Yes, let's go. Come on.
I'm gonna look at Quinn and be like, I thought that's what would be best. I'm sorry.
She shakes her head and rolls her eyes as she continues pushing forward. You
Well,
all
let's
continue.
go.
You all continue forward for but a few moments, 20 minutes at max. As you crest the top of a hill, you see a large grouping of people that seem to be outside of a particular manor. Pavo, you would recognize this immediately as the Lionhead Manor. They shout and writhe, angry at the way that Trelis is being run. A number of guards continue to push forward, trying to push back on them all to keep them away from the manor. Quinn looks to you all. This is our moment. How would you like to proceed?
Need to
Are we
work our way
approaching
around
the back,
Yeah, I
or
thought
are
we
we
were-
approaching the front?
At
Or
this
are we
point, you've
in
just
conjunction to the manor.
Yeah, you've just made your way up to the manor proper. You stand probably about 50 feet away from the front entrance and 20 feet away from the large group that gathers outside that seems to be causing the ruckus on the streets.
All right. We should swing our way around the back then.
Yeah, do we have
Yeah.
a view of the back from here?
Or at least, is there a clearing that seems to be a clear path to where there's no guards off to the side so we can work our way around?
From your scouting mission, Pavo, you do know that there seems to be a way through the courtyard around the back. While there are large bushes and trees that seem to line either side of the manor itself, there is a small pathway that leads towards the back.
I just motion to them. Let's follow me. Let's go this direction over here. There should be a clear pathway for us.
I'll follow.
I'll follow Pablo.
I need you all to make stealth checks for me, please.
Oh shit.
Stealth. I don't even know if I'm good at that.
8
Chainmail
plus 8
doesn't-
is 16.
Has any disadvantage, does it?
It does,
Not
yep.
with the ring? Or chainmail does?
Not with the ring.
From, oh, not with
Yeah.
the ring.
Okay.
I'm at disadvantage too. Ooh.
No.
I'm at
Not with the
disadvantage, and
ring.
I have proficiency though.
Well, because
That's a
heavy
9
armor just
for me.
And I had a
automatically
natural 20 on the first roll.
does that.
Ooh,
And a 19. Holy shit.
Wow.
A 19 and a
got a-
20. Well done.
I got a 19 and a 20. So dirty 20 for me.
Whoa, I got a dirty 22.
I
And
got
that
a
was
dirty
shit.
20 also.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Illuminati.
boo, 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 boo. Wham, 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 wham.
I got a 16. Yay.
Well,
12.
Shank
just
said it
like-
right. Y'all so dirty. Y'all straight dirty.
Yeah.
So if there's no
it.
disadvantage, that means I got 8.
Well done. Well done.
Seems
I never
appropriate
expected a
still.
Warforged to be particularly stealthy, but, you know, thank God for friends, right? You all make your way, sneaking past the courtyard, waiting for a particular outburst to happen before following Quinn as she sneaks back behind. Running alongside of the building, there doesn't seem to be any guards there. As you make your way to the back area, you do see a door with one guard standing there.
Let's do it.
What was that?
Get him.
Can you take out the guard? You could just
Yeah.
talk to him.
You want
Talk
to
to him?
talk to the guard and say what? Hey, we're just coming in to.
Hey, what's up, guy?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Hey
wanna
y'all, what's up?
distract
Spring
him?
break. Hey.
Yeah.
With your glitter bombs?
In
I
the
don't
bomb.
understand why people think this is such a bad idea. I technically got Lucy's body out of a fight.
I
with
think the glitter bomb wouldn't be great.
It might
because
work.
might attract people from the front.
You know, I
You're
could
right. You're right.
So-
also potentially summon a water elemental to be a distraction.
That seems
That's
like a way.
intense.
Again, that might grab
Yeah.
people from the front.
But I think maybe we could just, maybe we could glitter bomb and just run while it's,
I could try
And you
convincing
can't
this
see, it's like
one
smoke.
again, and hopefully
I mean,
be a little more successful.
I mean, we just have to save the halfling, not save the world. I mean, the water elemental doesn't seem that useful.
You watch your mouth.
He's only half a man.
I appreciate you helping me back there, but you don't. All right, you're overstepping bounds here.
Oh, Quinn,
What,
is
are you in
Quinn-
love with the halfling, Lucille?
No. All right. Look, we're all friends here, and let's just get on with it. Just
Okay,
gonna-
all right.
Sorry, is his name Lucille?
Shh,
Yeah, his name is
Yeah.
Lucille.
I swear.
Lucille, the third.
Oh, and Lucy's just short, like Ollie,
Yeah.
Lucy,
So you'll call me Lucy.
Oliver.
Like,
Uh,
like his daddy was Lucille and his granddaddy
We
was
have
Lucille.
something happening here that we should all be paying attention, right,
Wow, this party
Pavo?
gets distracted really easily.
I agree with Lucille.
I do too.
Lucy. All
Let's
right.
go. Let's go.
Does anyone have a better plan other than me trying to convince him to help out the people in the front?
Let's go save the half man.
No, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But you're letting Lucy talk to the guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Worst case scenario, policeman would be
listen.
ready to knock this guy out.
Wait, Lucy, yeah.
I'll help
like,
him too.
Well, Quinn, I
Chat him
thought,
up.
Quinn, can't you just like sneak up in the shadows and take him out?
Or that. That sounds like a
I
better
mean-
plan, actually.
I would send Eli, but we're saving Eli.
A very maniacal grin sparks across Quinn's face. I never thought you would ask.
Lick his face.
God.
Suddenly, she vanishes from sight entirely. Pavo, you barely can keep track on her as she bounces from one place to another. Suddenly apparating behind the guard itself, you watch as a fountain sprays out from his neck as she slits his throat from the back.
What I've done.
Get what you ask for.
Ladies
I don't like
uploading.
her.
Falling
Knocking
to the
out.
ground, she looks back at you, looking at all of your faces shocked. She shrugs and says, "Well, at least I didn't cut his face off."
Yes.
You know, he probably had a family, but all right. It'll start walking.
All right.
Start walking up to the door.
I walk next to Lucille and I said, "So do you."
Our Mama can wait for now. I mean, mother can wait for now.
Alright, heading towards the door.
You all make your way towards the door. A large
Does it-
padlock resides on the back of it.
Does the guard that she just slaughtered have the keys on him?
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Investigation.
This is why we need Pavo. I didn't even think to do that.
I got a 13.
13. While you rummage through the young man's pockets, there doesn't seem to be a key.
This sucks.
Oh,
Anybody
I mean,
good at picking locks here?
Eli's good at picking locks, and Quinn seems a lot like Eli. So we could ask Quinn to do it. Unless someone else here is good at picking locks. Trix, you're kind of sneaky. Do you have
I'll
any
give it a
lock picks on you?
I don't have any lockpicks on me, but when in Rome, I'll give it a go.
I think she's got some bobby pins.
All right, Trix, by all means, go ahead and make a dexterity, or no, make a sleight of hand check for me, please.
Oh. That is 22.
22. Surprisingly enough, Trix, removing one of the trinkets from her horns, bending it, the small piece of metal, to a fine straight line. She bends a few ways back as she inspects the padlock on the door. Thoroughly satisfied with the small metal clip that she's played with, she inserts it into the padlock. A few moments pass, a few jiggles later, and you all hear a click as she pulls down on the padlock.
Not surprisingly, just saying.
Go off.
Shade is impressed.
Perfect.
Way to go, Trixie. Slap her on the back.
As she pulls the lock pick back into a little bit of a malleable element, she curves it once more, returning it back to her horns. Reaching out for the door, she turns the handle and pushes it open. Are you all entering?
I want to take a second real quick. Before we enter, drag the body back to the bushes.
Oh, Pavo.
Wow.
Good call. As you pull it back towards a large shrubbery, you try and do your best to cover it up a little bit. I need you to make a deception check for me.
Not good at that.
Should have buried the body. It's my
4.
highest roll.
He puts one leaf on top.
I put a feather on
He
it.
didn't.
Ooh,
4.
perfect.
Kicks dirt like a dog.
Then survival. Just kidding, but-
Throwing the body over your shoulder, you walk towards a shrubbery in the back. Tossing it, not so elegantly, into the shrub. You see a foot easily sticking out.
Push on it.
Shrugging your shoulders, you think, yeah, that's good enough.
At least it's not in
As
the
you
doorway.
Do I
Turn
see
back.
that? Do I see that? Can I correct that?
Lucy, make a deception check or make a stealth check for me.
Oh, come on. I'm good at deception. You're gonna... Okay, fine. I have disadvantage on stealth. Okay, I'll do it anyway. 18 or a 13.
You manage to shove the foot back down into the shrubbery, losing visibility of the young body entirely.
All right, now we can go in.
Oh.
Hopefully, there's not too much blood all over the place because we can't cover that all up. We'll try to throw
That's
dirt on
fucking
it.
teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dreams work, my
Wanna
friend.
Get him in your favorite position.
Kick dirt on the blood stain. So look for like mud.
I'm just
Sure,
gonna look
we'll
at
say-
Pavo and just give him one of these.
I didn't see that.
Thumbs up and like a
Oh,
exhale through the nose.
so. All right. So
Are you
this
all
won't
going
draw
inside?
any attention, or hopefully it won't
Yeah.
draw attention. So I get
I'm
spear
going
in spear in hand, ready to go, and enter the door.
Okay.
Following.
Following behind Pavo and Ollie, you all breach the back door of the Lionhead Manor.
Make sure to shut the door.
Jeez.
Pavo with the technicalities. I love it.
Yeah.
Cover
I
our
don't think it-
tracks.
Gotta cover all your bases at this
Yeah.
point. You don't know what's gonna happen, man.
Is everyone
Somebody
wearing
dust
their
behind us for
gloves?
footprints.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a branch.
What is this, a crime show? Jesus Christ. Is this True
Pavo, use your
Detectives?
tail.
Where's Matthew McConaughey when we need him?
Step in the same spot I do, so they can't track our numbers. Just kidding.
Yes,
The single.
says the one with talons.
Yeah, I know. Energy.
Talons, hooves, and feet.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
I'm just imagining from like The Emperor's New Groove, Krunk doing his little like.
All right, moving
We're
on.
focused.
I'm ready,
You sure?
universe, when you are.
Are we
You guys
good?
are the worst.
Are we good?
We're ready to save our
Do
friend.
you want us to
Kronk?
save you?
We're gonna make
Oh
you
my
proud,
God.
Eli. I swear.
No one even made like the pull the lever, Kronk.
If I see a lever, I will. I promise.
There better be a scene where the guards are chasing us and we're going through different doors, like Scooby-Doo style.
Oh yeah, no, we'll have a full Benny Hill moment.
God.
All right, I think that was about 4 references, which is our max, so we need to move on.
All right, are we moving on?
Why?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
We're moving
Okay.
on.
Sorry.
Eli. As the short man smoking the cigar enters into the room, I don't think you've ever been exposed to the man before. However, as he walks forward into the light, Lionhead, very stern and angry at this point, says, "Darius, what is the meaning of this intrusion?" The man in the suit looks back. "You were right about one thing, Willie. A true vision requires a single source. It's too bad you're a little too narrow-minded." Lionhead begins to move towards Darius, but is quickly halted by a black blade of an axe held to his neck. You see the Black Knight now holding out the axe to the throat of Lionhead. Lionhead begins to speak in detest, but is cut short. "It's no use, Willie. A servant knows his place when his true master enters the room." Darius turns to Birdie. We appreciates the info, Birdie. Kept those cards pretty close to your chest for quite some time now. It's admirable, but ultimately fruitless. Now this one," and he points towards Eli. "This one I'm interested in. You're something else, kid. Entirely stupid to pull out the champion's weapons in the middle of a town market, but I gotta say, the fact that you hold two is something sensational. I wonder what other secrets you have."
Do I know you?
"No, but your friends, especially that wizard lady, Alara. She thinks I'm a friend. What do you think? Am I your friend?"
I don't know. I don't want to be too quick to answer.
He walks over to you and kneels down to be face to face with you. "Name's Darius. I'm an information broker of sorts throughout all of Trelis. What's your name?"
Uncle Darius. Right?
"Yes. Some people call me Uncle."
What's my name?
"If you're willing to indulge."
My friends call me Eli.
"Eli, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Eli, can I ask you a question?"
Shoot.
Do you know what makes me a good information broker, kid?
If I did, then I would be an information broker myself. Seems like a pretty good business.
It is. It is. And it's for one reason that I'm a good information broker. It's because I can do this. As he says that, he rests his hand in the middle of your chest for a moment. It feels like a boulder has smashed into your ribcage. Pulling his hand back, an excruciating pain waves over your body for but a brief moment. So much so that your vision flashes for but a brief moment. As the vision clears, you now see Darius's outstretched hand holding onto a silver ethereal cord with two versions of yourself kneeled in the same position that you are now. You recognize the images, the first, farthest away from you, of an angry young man dedicated, the first farthest from you, a very young boy, not much older than when the night your parents left. The one directly behind that and closest to you, you see a younger man dedicated to his training. And while you cannot see, even through the pain, you sense a version of yourself directly behind you. You remain frozen, with eyes open and mouth wide from the agony, unable to move, unable to speak. You helplessly watch as Darius looks you over, every last version.
Can I try to resist?
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Natural 1, so I will re-roll. Another natural 1, I will re-roll. A 3, I will use my inspiration. A 19.
Okay.
Look at that.
That
Well,
halfling
look
go.
at that there. Let's just knock
Wow.
off your inspiration there for a quick hot moment. No problem. You try and resist, but this is far, far too powerful. Nothing
I just
you've
want him to know I'm resisting.
ever encountered before. Darius begins to look all versions of you over. You've got a lot of secrets, kid. Some of which I am now eternally grateful for. He looks directly behind you. So this is what you're gonna become, huh? Impressive. There may be room for you in the new world yet. He drops the cord, and the versions immediately dissipate from view. You fall to the floor as you try to catch your breath. Lionhead, now completely shocked of what he's just witnessed. But that was... How did you... Poor Willie. Still haven't put all the pieces together yet, have you? I'm actually kind of hurt that you don't recognize me. Maybe it's the suit. With that, Darius begins to pull on the collar of his black suit. His silhouette begins to glow for a moment, making his features unidentifiable. The glowing silhouette grows to the size of a common man. As the light fades, a new individual stands before you. He wears a brilliant white and gold armor with sapphires embedded, a long flowing cape rests on his back. Flowing golden locks adorn the top of his head, but his face, obstructed. A featureless, colorless, white mask sits atop, with no identifying features. Lionhead immediately drops to his knees, as well as the other two. Blessed be. The Lion's Savior has returned. Dear Solus, I am at your beckoning, but I beg to ask, why did you not find me upon your return? The individual now reaches his hand out and rests it on the top of Lionhead's head. A voice rings out, much different than the Darius that you once spoke to. My child, I have never left. You have done well, my disciple. But your need has come to an end. I thank you for all that you have done. As he finishes his sentence, Lionhead begins to squirm for a moment before breaking out into a full spasm. His skin begins to cling to the bones and begins to change color into a sickening gray, the muscles in his arms melting away, making Lionhead look like a walking skeleton. He lets out a small scream, but it's cut short as a pile of bones now scattered down to the floor. The individual that you now know as Solus stands before you. He looks to the other two. We have the location of 3 more of the champion's weapons. One is perched upon this Hawkins Institute, and another one remains with his companions as he points towards Eli. The bald woman speaks up at this point. And the third, my lord? Solus looks down for a moment before looking back to the bald woman. Where is the dagger that fell out of this young man's grasp? She reaches into her robe and produces the dagger and hands it to him. He looks it over for but a moment. But where is your sister? He holds his other hand out, and the identical dagger appears in it. He admires both for but a brief moment. I quite like these. Perhaps I'll keep them as a symbol. Chisels are, in fact, the perfect tools to carve a new world, are they not? The woman looks back to Solus for a brief moment. And how do you wish us to retrieve the third, Master? Not to worry, Medra. It is being delivered as we speak. Collect the weapon, kill the rest. They will be nothing but problems if they are left alive. And what do you wish us to do of these two, Master? She gestures towards Birdie and Eli. An easy enough solution. Solus now raises his hand to the sky. As he swipes it down once more, he lets the dagger loose as it flies out of his hand, deeply embedding the blade into Eli's chest. Eli, you look down on your chest to watch as the ruby red blood poured down on your vest. You slink over to one side before falling to the floor. Your vision begins to blur as you watch helplessly, unable to move. You hear Birdie screaming your name, but you are unable to respond. Solus looks back to his Black Knight. I'll leave the rest to you, my friend. You deserve this more than any. And what is it that you will do, my lord? It seems our little halfling friend had more secrets than even he knew of. The Avatar has been born, and a particular wizard. I must go see about it. Bring the artifact to Tusk in the Far East. I will be with you shortly. The two bow their heads before the Lion's Savior, vanishes from sight. As he disappears, the Black Knight turns towards Birdie and raises a large axe to the sky. He begins to swing the blade down. But Eli, you watch as the door suddenly bursts open from the opposite side. A single dagger flies through the air, embedding itself in the Black Knight's armor, pushing him just off balance for a brief moment. With little strength left, Eli, you raise your head to the doorway, only to see your companions rushing in, led by a woman you've never seen before as the room goes black. You are now finding it incredibly cold, incredibly hard to breathe. But from the darkness, you hear a whisper from a familiar voice heard once before in the serpent's tomb. The blade and the body are now one. Just before you lose consciousness. However, that, my friends, is a story for another evening.
You fucker.
That's so mean.
No, no.
Yep. The blade and the body are one.
Okay, it sounded like it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Well, is Eli becoming a blade or the blade becoming Eli?
That's what I don't understand. I don't know whose body.
It could either be dead or either be a weapon.
Or
I can only think of the White Ranger from Power Rangers sword that just flies and like shoots lasers out of its eyes.
I don't know.
Eli's still conscious while we're in there, so we'll be able to save him.
Yeah.
Turns into Edward Scissorhands.
All right, Ollie, here's your time to shine.
I got healing word, but the dagger's still in his chest.
It'll push it out.
That's fine.
That's okay. Just keep it in there forever.
Will it, or will it
I hope
just feel
Trix is ready
around
to
it?
blow up so much shit.
Oh yeah.
Well,
oh
Eli,
man, guys. Oof. I have an
Eli,
idea.
you asked the reason for the title tonight.
There we go. And I think I have it.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah, I
You
think
now know.
we drew that conclusion.
Yeah.
Just busting in the room. Wow, Eli, you're looking chiseled.
Oh my god. Ah!
Oh,
Guys, my brain is exploding. Are you sure? Are you sure that's where you want to end? Are you sure we can't just keep going? Are you sure?
It's not even it yet.
Yeah, it's only
Okay.
10:58.
Well, I will say this. One last glass raised to the sky for our good friend Eli.
Oh!
what?
I'm not touching that.
Damn, son.
I can't drink to that because I was so engaged I couldn't go get another drink. So
I know, I'm empty too.
Drop.
Same here. I'm empty.
No.
And Eli's fine. We're gonna say
Yeah.
Eli. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna
That's
be fun.
okay. Rewarding a new character is not that bad.
Well, ladies and gentlemen of chat and viewers, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I can promise you the next session will be one that you do not want to miss as we wrap up the arc of Trelis. To all of you who are continuing to watch us not only live on Twitch, but to all of our new friends on YouTube, thank you so much for participating, and hopefully you've enjoyed our silly faces and my ridiculous story so far. If you've enjoyed what you've been seeing, consider subscribing, consider following, and all of those wonderful things. But until I meet you back here next Tuesday night, I beg of all of the adventurers out there, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.
God, I could unclip my bow.
Maybe.
Oh, God.
Oh, you keep that bow tie on.